Working late night shifts can bring out the worst in people, or worse, in things, and I learned that the hard way. Imagine this: quiet streets, cool night air, and just the hum of your motorbike cutting through the silence. That's how it all started for me. My name's Ryan, and back then, I was a delivery driver for Jollibee, a fast food chain so popular in the Philippines, it borders on obsession. For me, the overnight shift was perfect. No traffic, fewer orders, and a free bucket of fried chicken to bring home. A sweet deal, right? But that illusion shattered one unforgettable night. A night I can't stop replaying, no matter how much I try. What started as an ordinary delivery spiraled into something I wouldn't wish on anyone. It was a little past midnight, and everything felt off. The shadows seemed longer, stretched out unnaturally across the streets. The air was heavy, like it carried every bad omen you've ever heard of. As I rode back towards the restaurant after my last delivery, I decided to cut through a sketchier neighborhood. Dangerous, yes, but faster. The streets were eerily quiet, except for the low rumble of my motorbike. I told myself to keep my head down, my speed up, and not to linger. But as I turned a sharp corner, my heart jumped into my throat. Out of nowhere, another motorbike appeared. 3 guys crammed onto it, riding aggressively, straight towards me. Instinctively, I swerved and skidded to a stop, rubber screeching against the asphalt. We barely missed each other, but I could see the rage flash in their eyes. It was the kind of rage that doesn't listen to reason. They stopped too, their bike wobbling from the abrupt halt. Nobody spoke for a second, but those moments of silence felt louder than any words. Their eyes burned with fury, jaws clenched tight. They didn't need to say anything for me to realize I'd messed with the wrong guys. I fumbled out an apology, stammering, sorry, hindi ko sinasadya," but that wasn't what they wanted to hear. They didn't want an explanation or an apology. They wanted someone to take out their anger on, and I was that someone, the biggest one. Their leader, by the looks of it, stepped forward, his face twisted in rage. When he lunged for me, my instincts kicked in. I twisted the throttle hard, and my bike shot forward. I didn't care where I was going. I just needed to get away. The sound of their engine roared behind me, growing louder, closer. They weren't giving up. Their bike was faster, and the way they taunted me, shouting and laughing over the sound of the motor, made my stomach churn. I tried losing them by weaving through the narrow back streets, cutting sharp turns in alleyways. But no matter where I went, they stayed on my heels. The restaurant was the only safe place I could think of. As soon as it came into view, I bolted forward, skipping the parking lot entirely. I didn't even bother killing the engine. I threw myself off the bike, racing to the glass doors. With trembling hands, I yanked them open, slammed them shut behind me, and locked them. A split second later, the 3 men pulled up outside, dismounting their bike. They didn't hesitate. Their fists pounded against the window, rattling it in its frame. "Come out, you coward!" one of them shouted, each word dripping with venom. My co-worker, who had been mopping up for the night, dropped his mop and ran over. "Ryan, what's going on?" "Sino sila. Call the boss," I stammered, barely able to get the words out. "Now!" He didn't argue. As he grabbed his phone, I watched the men pace like caged animals, their fists slamming against the glass. They weren't just mad, they were predators, toying with their prey. When my boss finally arrived, I thought maybe we'd figure something out, reason with them, calm them down. He was fearless, this guy. Walked out to meet them like he'd handled 10 situations worse than this before breakfast. But then, everything changed. From the upstairs window, I could see the conversation spiral. My boss stood tall, trying to de-escalate things, but they weren't interested. Their shouts grew louder, sharper, and then I heard them. The threats. "We'll burn this whole place to the ground. We'll kill you all." I froze, my breath stuck in my throat, and then my stomach dropped as I saw one of them reach into his waistband and pull out a gun. My mind raced, my pulse hammering in my ears. This was my fault. If I hadn't come running back here, this wouldn't be happening. My boss, my coworker, they were risking their lives for me. I couldn't let that happen. Before I could think twice, I grabbed the keys, unlocked the door, and stepped outside, my hands up in surrender. It was like throwing myself into a pit of lions. All 3 men turned to face me, grinning like sharks that had caught the scent of blood. "You want me? Fine. Just leave them alone," I said, my voice shaking. I barely processed what happened next. One moment I was standing there, and the next, a deafening bang rang out. I expected pain, death even. But when I came to, I was lying in a hospital bed, bandages wrapped around my chest. The bullet had only grazed me, the nurses said. A miracle. But that miracle had a cost. My boss didn't make it. The police got there too late. One of the thugs was arrested, but the others managed to slip away. Everything after blurred into a fog of regret and grief. Sometimes I still hear banging at night, echoes of their fists pounding on the window. I tell myself it's just my imagination, just the trauma messing with my head. But deep down, I'm not so sure, because when I get up to check and look outside, there's no one there.